I'm gonna show you how to use one of the most underrated midfield legends in the game. Also, according to YouTube statistics, only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you end up liking this video, subscribe. It's free and you can always unsubscribe afterwards. Now enjoy the video. So here we are in a third and final review in this trilogy of Liverpool iconic moment players. I've reviewed Fernando Torres, I've reviewed Michael Owen, and now I'm reviewing Xabi Alonso. It's basically as simple as this. He's 97 rated as a defensive mid. What I have a problem with, or what I had a problem with at least, this was at the start of when I got the player. I was looking at his stats, right? I scrolled all the way to the side and I saw, okay, he's an orchestrator, but he does not have the interception trait. So I was like, how can he be a defensive midfielder and doesn't have the interception trait? You know, that's pretty discouraging, because you're saying to yourself, hey, if I'm going to replace him for my Patrick Vieira, then, you know, or even Beckham sometimes that you use there, or even Scholes here, like, the least he can do is have interception trait, because, you know, you need him to make those last ditch tackles. What I've realized is that even though he doesn't have the interception trait, which would usually discourage me from using a defensive mid that doesn't have, or that's not orchestrate. Obviously, if you're a destroyer, you will have the interception trait as well, because, you know, it's literally in the name. But I looked at it and I've been playing with him, and I've seen people tell me that his defensive stats aren't really that good. But when I look here, his defensive stats are very, very good. And like, as you can see here, his stamina is 94, so he can last the entire game. His defensive awareness is 90. His balling is 86. It's just that his aggression isn't, you know, in the 80s or 90s. So what more do you guys want? You guys want this card to do every single thing in the world? Didn't you guys watch Xabi Alonso? You know, Xabi Alonso is the type of player that is not necessarily his last ditch tackles, but he will fight for the badge. That's what I like. He fights for the badge. But you see, for the long ball spammers or the persons who use long balls in their formation, this guy is the perfect defensive mid player that you need. You can also use him as a center mid, and rarely you can use him as a center back. It all depends on like the situation. What I've realized is that he isn't really one to really attack, because his finishing is 79. So you won't really look at it and say, oh, Xabi Alonso is going to be your striker, or he's going to be attacking mid. No, that's not what you look at it as. You look at it that he's going to be the one setting up your striker or setting up your attacking mid. So he's going to be the one that's sending up the passes forward, because an orchestrator. An orchestrator is a player who likes to sit deep and send balls forward, whether it wants to be long pass, short pass, sideways pass, you know, over the head pass. It doesn't really matter what type of pass you want to do, because any type of pass that you want, he can do it. He can do through passing, he can do one touch passing, he can do weighted passing, he can do pinpoint crossing as well. So you can even put him on the right mid or the left mid. It all depends on what you really want to do, because the way how I see it, he has every single thing in his arsenal. He's right footed though, so you know, you have to keep in mind that sometimes on the left side it may not be as accurate as how it is on the right side. But trust me guys, if you want to set up your strikers, because he's perfect to use with Owen and Fernando Torres, because when they're making their runs, or when they're about to make their runs and you're looking at the radar at the bottom of the screen, all you have to do is look, do a over the head through ball, or do a regular through ball through, or if you see your wingers progressing a bit forward, send it there. If you want to switch the wings, you can use him to switch wings as well. So you have too many options with this guy, and I think that his lack of the interception trait, which you can also train up, because, you know, it's not like he's filled with 10 skills or 10 traits right there. You know, you can always take out the fighting spirit. Not that you can actually take it out, but you can always hope to take out the fighting spirit if it's actually 10 skills, which it isn't. But what I'm saying is that, you know, interception trait is the least. I'll definitely just make sure that you're using either a hardworking center mid beside him, like De Jong or McTominay, or, you know, even if you want to use Vieira as well, you can pop in Vieira. I've used Vieira in this formation. Vieira, well, let me switch it up a bit. This is how I like to use it. So I have Vieira there in the center. I can also use Alonso there, and I can use Vieira to just go a little bit further up. It all depends. You guys don't even, it doesn't even matter where you want to put them actually, because they'll get the job done. They'll move around properly. Most people have told me that, oh, like my friend for instance, he told me that his Xabi Alonso is up in attack when he has him in this position where you see Vieira is, and I find it hard to believe, because when I'm playing with Xabi Alonso is literally, sometimes my defenders would move a bit forward, because I tend to use Ake and Ramos and those kind of defenders, those are extra front man. So sometimes I would see Ramos and Ake a little bit, even though it's in their playing style, but I would see Ake a bit higher than Xabi Alonso. So, and like I literally observe what is happening. Like sometimes when I record a video and I'm looking back, watching over the videos, and I'm like, wow, Xabi Alonso is literally moving back. Like he's very good at positioning. So he's moving back when my defenders are moving forward. So he's there to cover. He's not the fastest person, but you don't need a midfielder to be fast. So it's not like, you know, he's gonna be Delete speed or Varane speed or whatever, but he can still get the job done. If there's a through pass passing there, he will be there to intercept it. He just need to control the player at the right time and get the ball and send it to the appropriate player before, you know, hopefully there's no lags or anything, because that cannot actually allow you to concede. Or if you have an offensive goalkeeper, he will allow you to concede as well, because he might run down the ball and he and Xabi collide into each other, and bam, he gives your opponent a goal, and that's what we're trying to avoid. But apart from that though, I've realized that Xabi is very good, and don't get me wrong, he is very good at passing. Passing is his main attribute. Positioning is also one of his main attributes. Shooting is not really one of his main attributes, but as you can see, he's very good at taking long range shots. He can take curlers. I use him on my set piece. He can take free kicks, whether it wants to be long free kick, short free kick, and he's a penalty specialist, so he can take penalties as well. So it all depends on what you really want out of the card. Obviously you have better set piece takers out there like Beckham, obviously, but sometimes, you see, the thing is, Beckham's curls are kind of hard to control if you don't know how to use Beckham. So too for Roberto Carlos. So Xabi, compared to Beckham, doesn't have a outrageous curl, so it would be easier to control Xabi than controlling Beckham. So it all depends on like what you want. So if you want, you know, if you're used to Beckham, then keep using Beckham. If you want a better free kick taker that, you know, isn't really so unsure about or you're not really so unsure where the curl or the curve of the free kick is going to go, use Xabi Alonso. Trust me, I use him for my corner trick, I use him for my free kicks, I use him for my penalties. Not that it really matter who takes the penalty, because of a penalty trick that literally never miss. I literally never miss my penalties. I score 100% of my penalties. I don't miss my penalties because I discovered a trick the other day. Tell me if you guys want me to make a video on that. I can. It's not that hard. Can make a video for you guys so that everybody can get a slice of the pie. But yeah, Xabi Alonso, definitely. I feel like he's one of the most underrated legends, and I feel like he's the most underrated legend in this pack, because yes, Fernando Torres is OP, yes, Michael Owen is OP, but if they're not getting balls to them, how are they going to be OP? If they're not getting the balls at their foot or at their feet, how are they going to score? Xabi Alonso is the right man for that. It's not always your defenders that are going to be able to get the ball to you. Sometimes your midfielder would be the one to boom, make a crunching tackle, boom, or make an interception and boom, and send it forward. So hey, I love using Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso is a sure starter in my side, and I have Scholes. Let me show you guys who I have. I have Scholes. I have who else is there? I have Lampard. I have Nedved. I have Iniesta. I have so many other players that I could use. I have Pogba, I have Bruno, so many other players I could be using, but I decided that Xabi has to start because he has the qualities that I want, and he's proven me wrong. Because as I said, as an orchestrator without interception, I would say, bro, why are you even here? But after using him, I've totally changed my mind, and I have a different outlook on this player. So as I said, it's not really about the shooting for him. You can also dribble with him. I've dribbled with him a couple times. It's not really with him. I've scored some belters with him, some long shots with him. I've scored some curlers with him. I've scored all manner type of goals with him. But don't expect him to be somebody who is there to score goals. He's there to assist. He's like, how may I assist you? So just send the long balls forward or send the balls forward. So you have to just understand that if you're going to be playing Xabi Alonso, you have to play a different type of playing style beside him. So he's sitting deep, so you need like a whole player or a box-to-box player to play beside him. So you can use Pogba, you can use McTominay, you can use Fred, you can use Scholes on orchestrator as well. You can use who I can't remember right now who is actually a whole player. I guess a whole player could be Bruno Fernandes or Van de Beek, even though they're actually attacking mids. But there has to be some sentiments that are whole players. Oh yes, Lampard is a whole player, so you can use Lampard. I'm just remembering these things as I go. As I said, it's not really about the power, but it's like the deftness of the touch. Like literally, his calm playing style is a long ball expert. Make use of it. I don't care if people want to call you a long ball spammer. Make use of it. If you have Xabi Alonso and you see your Mbappe or your Owen or your Fernando Torres or your Rashford or your Cristiano Ronaldo or your Messi or you know your this and your that and your Cruyff or your Romario, and I'm just going on and you see them going forward, send the ball forward. I don't care. Just send it forward and go score. After that, you can go back to regular football. When you see an opportunity, you take it. I don't care. It's not like you're sending the ball up forward and there's absolutely no one there to collect it. No. Send the ball, get the goal, go back to regular football. That is it. I thank you guys for actually coming out and watching all 3 reviews. I hope that these reviews are actually very, you know, informative for you guys. If you missed any of the other 2, you can always just click the links in the chat. I have them. Check them out. You guys are the best. I'm out.